Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, playing Age of Wonders Planetfall. So I have actually run this game on about 4 turns, which in the context of this game, in how long it takes to make the videos of this game, is actually quite a lot, because there wasn't anything amazing happening at the time I finished the last video, and nothing untoward or amazing happened in the, I think, 5 turns I did since then. So all I did in the off video turns was, I think I made another sea base around here, so I've kind of linked them all up together. This empire didn't like the fact I took one of the sectors they were claiming as well, but that's the way it goes. I linked up another one of my sectors there with a forward base in here. There's not much there, but I like to have them all linked up, and I've sent an army in that direction, so I've got one over there. That faction AI player over there, Seller, who's our friend, took one of our claimed sectors somewhere over here. I don't know where it was, somewhere down here, and it is what it is. Like I said, at this part of the game, everyone's going to start taking each other's claimed sectors, so you have to decide whether you want to be angry about it or just think, okay, well, it's just, you know, we both claimed it, but we didn't claim it and do anything about it, so don't worry about it. And I've been building up my army. One thing I'm very aware of in this game, having played through my own playthroughs in my own Empire mode, is that I'm very armoured, if that's the word, unprepared for a war, because although I've got 4 armies with leaders and another non-leadery army that I'm kind of building there, that's no way going to be enough if I end up in a war, I can assure you of that. So that's not really great. Also, in the diplomacy, I will show you, because I took one of their claimed sectors, they're now kind of, they've got an orange little not very happy face, and they're minus 310. They're still neutral, but you know, that can really suddenly change. They could decide to declare war on us for whatever. They've got reasons, it says there in that bit there. That's where they've got quite a lot of reasons actually to declare war on us if they wish, because of all these sectors we've claimed and they've claimed, and so that can suddenly happen. So it's a toss-up now. I don't think I'm prepared for a war. I don't know when the war's going to come. The only people we're friendly with really are these ones are just kind of like, they wouldn't really care either way. So things you can do, which I haven't actually done in any of my games. Like I said, I'm not, I don't usually ally with other factions or have pacts with other factions, sometimes defensive ones, but not really anything else, unless it's like to protect a minor faction. I don't like having a kind of tie-in with another major faction, but you can, if you wish, do this, which is war coordination with a faction you're kind of friendly with, and it motivates them to focus on targets of your choosing. They'll try to follow our war coordination request for up to 20 turns. They may decide not to follow us after a bit. So we can ask them to prepare for kind of a war with another faction. We can do a few other things as well. I think we'll leave it for the moment, but it's an option. And like I said, because I think we're very underprepared for a war, then it might be a thing to consider. We'll see how that goes. I'm desperately trying to build up this extra army, but as I said previously, when you fight the AI players, they seem to just have overwhelming numbers. They haven't necessarily got better units than you, they've just got overwhelming numbers, and that's what kills you in the end. So we'll see. Okay, so we'll just skip this turn on. And as you've seen, if you've watched any amount of the videos I've done in this series, you can get through, and I don't know if this is good or bad, I'm not really sure, it depends on what you want to do really and what mood you're kind of in, but you can negotiate quite a lot of this game without really doing much. So they've declared war. Actually, that's kind of good, and I'll tell you why that's kind of good. In the context of a playthrough, that may not be good because we're not ready, but in the context of this video, it's probably a good thing. So, okay, you declared war, whatever. We're not going to negotiate with you, you can get lost. But we probably will. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? So, as I said, with all these kind of games, and I'll come back to what I was saying originally in a minute, all these defensive pacts and things you do don't really mean anything, because we've had a defensive pact with these for a long time, and then as soon as someone's declared war, they've broken it, which is actually kind of scummy in general, because they didn't even wait to see what happened. They've just said, okay, well, you've been attacked now. So that was the whole point of the defensive pact, but yeah, now they don't want to help because we've been attacked. So they were really kind of treacherous actually. That's kind of bad, so they can get lost. We know we can't trust them. We could declare war on them for that, but we won't because we've already got another war. So that all happened, as you can see, very quickly. And as I was saying before that, you can kind of meander through quite a lot of this game without much happening, just building up empires and research and tech and stuff, and that can be good or bad depending on if you want lots to be happening. And then very suddenly, and I found that in all the playthroughs I've done, a lot can happen in a hurry, and that's kind of what's happened here. So literally from kind of being like, okay, we can just build some more things and we can do what we want, suddenly this guy over here has declared war on us. So there, that's not good. So it's hard to know what they might do. All I would suggest, if you get that situation without knowing what's going to happen, is to put armies in your closest colonies, because not only may they be attacked, but as you can see, because the colony has quite a good army of itself and defence, you'll kind of get extra power if they do attack that. We've already got an army there, but like I said, I don't feel we're prepared at all. We'll see if we've got any operations we can do that we might. That might be helpful. Operational defence will be good, so let's do that one. And like I said, in a playthrough where I'm much more on it and not describing what's going on, I would probably have taken on some of those operations a bit quicker, because it's always good to have them ready. But having said that, we've never been really overwhelmed with resources in this playthrough. We've always been kind of struggling with energy and cosmites, so we've not really had the option. So spacers want something, and whatever they want, they can get lost. Because we don't have the energy we want to give out to them now, because as I said before, when you get to a war situation, you don't want to be playing around with these silly NPC factions asking for stuff, and we don't want to do a quest because we don't want to be tying up one of our armies and losing units, so we'll just decline. And we've built up enough goodwill with them to do that. Paragon wants something and they can also get lost, and we don't care if it decreases our reputation, because we just really haven't got the resources or the armies to be doing that until we see what's going to happen. We've got one army over here somewhere, and the problem now is I'm going to just check. See, I don't trust them now because they broke our agreement to have a defensive pact the minute it suited them. In fact, the minute we needed them. So I'm aware that they're not trustworthy at all. Although it says they're a pacifist, I wouldn't hold my breath. I was looking at kind of trying to conquer that, but I think we'll have to abort that plan for now, because I'm sure that's going to be quite hard, and we haven't got enough armies to be tying one up over there. So it is what it is, and like I said, in a normal playthrough, I think I did the term, in a normal playthrough, if I was just doing one, this wouldn't be the ideal moment to go to war. There's never an ideal moment, but I was aware that I wasn't really ready. But in the context of this video, it doesn't matter whether I win or lose. It's just to show how the conflict would be and how that happens very quickly. So in that context, it's worked out kind of well, because as I said, you can go on and on with this game for quite a while without anything much happening, other than kind of busy work and building and just moderately annoying other people by doing things they don't like. So we've done our secret state. They're neutral towards each other, that's nice of them. What's this? They want something, and we're not going to give them a sector just to get some cosmites so they can get lost. They might not like that, but that's a shame. What else is happening there? Units with low morale. I'll be honest, I've had that before, and I've never been quite sure why that happens, or what you do about it, because we're not at war, and that unit, I mean, I understand the principle of that, but we're not at war. That unit's in a colony, so why they would have low morale, I don't really know. And what we can do, well, we're not at war in a colony to stop them having low morale, I don't really know, because generally in games you get that when they have like a war fatigue, or they've lost members of their unit, or they've been away from home too long and those kind of things, but none of those are the case, so I'm not quite sure what we do about that. But at the moment they can just have low morale and deal with it, because we've got bigger fish to fry. So we've done secret state. Let's just see, happiness with extra food, that's nice, but whatever. Okay. So this is that bit where suddenly the tech you've been sort of developing and what you're going to develop suddenly becomes much more important, because you may be using it in a war. So okay, so each faction has a kind of doomsday weapon, they're called. We all have them, every faction has a different one. I've not touched on this already, but when you get to a certain tech level, you can build them, you can build one in each colony, and the more you have, it works the same with each faction. The more you have, the more powerful it is. If you start building it at a certain point, when you're not at war, it will encourage people to get angry with you and want to start a war. I suppose it's like building nuclear weapons in the real world. People will not trust you and they'll think you might use it. And if you have it, obviously you can use it on them. It's a bit late for us to start doing it, and it uses a lot of energy. We could do that. What's this one? I think we'll just do that for now. We could spend 200 doing our doomsday weapon, but it takes quite a lot of turns and we haven't got a lot of energy, and it's not as I've had them before in my own playthroughs, and it's not as amazing as it might sound. You don't suddenly win the war by having it. Yes, you can point it at somebody else's colony or army and do something, but it's not as amazing as it might sound. Also, be aware that when you don't have a line of vision on somebody because they're in the fog of war, which means you haven't got a unit close to them, you usually can't do anything. So if you wanted to fire a doomsday weapon at something that's in that kind of fog of war, even if we know it's there, you can't. So you'd have to have a unit near enough to reveal them. So there's other complications in that. I think if you're going to use doomsday weapons and you're going to build them, you need to kind of have them. And I have had them in other games, and I've had them in about 3 or 4 colonies, and I've had them kind of ready, and then when the war started I can use them. But I don't think it's really going to help to try and quickly build. I may, it depends, we'll see how aggressive these people are in their war. So we've got them there. In there. Okay. So as I said, like in most games, but I find even more so in this game, you really can't rely on what any of the AI players say or do. They can suddenly turn from kind of not liking you to declaring war and you'll never know it's coming, and factions that you feel friendly with, they'll suddenly turn on you. That's part of the reason why when I was looking at that thing at the very beginning of this video, I didn't want to start a kind of war coordination with that faction, because you can see they didn't even want to honour a defensive pact. So there's no reason to assume they would have honoured a war coordination, because you just can't trust other factions at all. Not just in this game. You couldn't trust them in Total War or Stellaris, but I think in this game I've learnt that you can trust them the least, I would say. Okay, so we've got a new unit, that's good. That's 12 turns, so that's a lot. Although I do like new units. But I think we'll go for one of these. It's hard to know which one we'll want, so we'll just pick one. The one good thing is at this moment we're really reasonably okay for Cosmite and energy. Not fantastically okay. I think I had one playthrough where I had about 2,500 energy. So we're not. This is the least productive playthrough I've had by way of resources and armies, but yeah, we'll build an elite military facility because we might want to build something elite over there. They're making a unit, that's fine. And the thing you don't know now is exactly what's going to happen next, and it's really hard to know whether they'll suddenly, this is them, the faction that we're at war with, it's really hard to know whether they'll suddenly start attacking or whether they're building up an army. We've got a scanner thing there, so we can see kind of into this area which we put there earlier, and we've got that teleport we can beam in. Actually, it might be worth, yeah, okay, where's the teleport here? Okay, so it might be worth sort of doing something a bit proactive. It's always a toss-up to know whether you should hold back. I mean, they may do nothing. They may just be at war and just generally be at war. We build up our army, and I don't know what their strength is. It's very hard to know the AI players' strength, because, you know, they've got all this territory somewhere here and we can't see into that, and we've got no real way of ever seeing into that. Even if we send a scout unit there, they'll get destroyed long before they get there. So it's very hard to know which strategy is the best. I suppose that's why these are kind of turn-based strategy games, huh? Anyway, so we'll move on again. But I find in this game, more than any other strategy game I've played, turn-based game, Stellaris and Total are the two I'm always noting. It's very hard to kind of know what the enemy are doing and what their strength is. In Total War, like Rome Total, whatever, if you were, you know, you could see into their cities and you could kind of roughly get someone quite close to them. You could see what kind of armies they had moving around. Even in Stellaris that was a bit similar, but in this you really can't work out what they're going to do. All we can see is the border of their territory, and we really have no idea what's going on or what they might do. So where's that army? Okay, so we're gonna where did we teleport? Okay, maybe we went backwards and forwards, I'm not sure. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to claim that, because we weren't claiming it earlier because we didn't want to start problems with them, but basically who cares now, they're already at war with us, and it benefits us a great deal if this turns very nasty to have control of that sector where the teleport is, because it stops them kind of appearing in our sector right in the middle of all of our sectors there and near our colonies. And if we have to fight a war, it'd be much better to be fighting it almost on their own soil there. We might lose, but if we start a forward base, we've got an army already, and we can send another army there. So again, it's hard to know what they're going to do, but that's kind of the thinking behind that. We're going to bring that army in this direction. Unfortunately, they've got to cross lots of annoying territories, so it's going to take them longer. There we're making units. There we've got a unit. There we've got, they're making something. Okay. I would suggest again, you won't, again from playing this in my own playthroughs, you won't win by overly spreading out your forces. Again, a bit like in Total War, for example, where you might have a very big empire, if you're Rome or Carthage or Egypt, whoever you were, Greece, and Total War Rome, that is obviously, they're all similar, but I refer to that one because that's the one I kind of played the most, I think. Well, I played all a lot of medieval as well, but anyway, yeah, you could put different armies in different cities, and you could probably defend the city, and you could probably win most battles or at least get another army there quickly. In this, if you spread your armies too thin, I mean, you can see there, so this is a good example now because they've come into view from Fog of War. You can see they already have how many armies there? 5. So you can see the problem, which is exactly what I kind of mentioned earlier. That's just one of their attacks. You can be sure they've got more somewhere back there, but they've got 5 armies here. The good thing, if there is a good thing, is that they'll have to cross the sea because they're not going to use the teleport, I don't think, because they're there and the teleport's down here. So at least we've got a couple of turns where they're trying to cross the sea. If they do, they may just be defending that, but probably not. But if we only have one army there and put one here and one here, we're not going to win because they've got 5. And they've probably got more following. So what we will need to do is put our other army there. So at least we've got kind of a backup. We're going to send this army. I don't know quite how they got over there. I think I pressed a button by mistake. So we're going to send them to help reinforce that area with the teleport. But as you can see, this is going to be difficult because this is a difficult game. It's easy to get to a point, I have done, where you're just going along and not much is happening and you have a few little battles with marauders and you win, and you might fight the NPC factions and you can win. And then once one of the AI players attacks you, they'll just have overwhelming numbers, and that's the problem I found in this game so far. Anyway, message from Paragon, I don't care what they want, we're not going to do it. See, they want us to... We'll say yes, because it'll shut them up, basically. And that's very near our city, our colony. But we just haven't got enough units to be there doing it. Again, I don't know whether these are going to attack here or they're just going to sit there waiting. I don't know. But, yeah. So, in this little video, this new video I've made, you've actually seen it's actually gone really well. Not really well for me and not really well for my empire, but really well from a video point of view, because it's gone from the kind of busy work, just going around randomly killing marauders and building up sectors and tech. It's gone from that to betrayal of our friends in Celia, who's not our friend at all, and a declaration of war. So you literally can see how quickly it's changed, where you're kind of just preparing for a normal kind of day at the office, and it's gone heads up. Okay, so they're moving down here now, which is worse. I don't know. And the problem is you can't really work out where they're gonna go. And I'm gonna guess they've come down from there. But again, unlike, I can't see, it will be very difficult in this game, even in the playthroughs where I've had a huge amount of energy, it will be very, very hard to have a massive amount of armies, because you've got to support them, you've got to have the Cosmite to put the mods on. You probably can, but it's not going to be easy. And like I said, the AI players, every single time I play this, always have huge amounts of forces in one lump. And even if you kill all these, they've got, like I said, that's just one lump of their forces. You can be sure somewhere back there they've got more. And that one lump of their forces, 5 armies, is more than we've got. So the only good thing out of this, and there is a slightly good thing, is we've got that teleport. So if they're going to head down there, we can at least use that to go there. But again, the problem is you can go backwards and forwards. I mean, they can go that way and they can suddenly turn back and go that way. In fact, I played a playthrough once when it was literally cat and mouse. They were heading somewhere and I didn't have the forces to meet them anywhere, which I haven't got here. So they were kind of heading one direction and I had to go that way while they went that way, and then as soon as they saw me going to defend there, they'd stop going back the other way. But it's hard because this is almost like an unwinnable situation. If we fought them here in our forward base and somehow we won, which we won't, because they've got, like I said, look at their army strength. They're not even like just numbers. I mean, that one's not that strong, but they're pretty leveled up. Even if we defeated all of these, we'd obviously take casualties and losses, and then we don't know what they've got hidden in the murky depths. So Spacers want something. Oh, that's okay, because that's a research thing, and we will do that because it won't mean using our armies. And as I said before, I would advise you, if you get those quests, do them, because all you need to do is, oops, sometimes they start automatically. Okay, so that's probably started automatically. So all you need to do is let your colonies do the research, which is almost like a freebie. I know it means you're using up your research doing something you're not doing for yourself, but it's kind of like a freebie to keep them at peace and you're not using armies. Okay, so we've got that army there, which we're going to put in here, but we're not overly building a lot of things. I don't know, why are we building so many things there? What's going on here? No, we don't want that. We don't want that. I think I must have pressed something too many times. We don't want that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see where these are going. And they're going to go back the other way. And you can see they've got endless units moving in. So you can see they've got more coming from there. And in what we've seen, I mean, look at it. In what we've seen, they've probably got about 7 armies there, each with almost a full complement of units, because they're sending more in to fill up their units. They do what I do. They fill up their units to 6. That's nice. But that's bad. It's bad for us. Very bad. Let's see what else we can do. We've got them. So we've got, like, that's more than half of their forces really, and it's like nothing compared to what they've got. So this is kind of like a what not to do playthrough. All we can do is keep making extra units, but there's a limit to how quick you can make them. Like I said, the more colonies you've got, the more spread out, and that's the same with all these games. The more cities you had producing in Total War games, the more units you could produce different places. But even if you had 10 colonies, it's still very hard to catch up. And I still can't quite work out, and again, you know, I'm sure they're playing by the rules, but how they end up with that many armies, and that's just one place. You know, they've got more than one city, so presumably I'm sure they've got other cities somewhere in here that have got other armies. So I'm not quite sure how they do that. But anyway, they that's what they do. It doesn't really matter how they do it, that's what they do. So it's going to be all hands on deck, really. To be honest, wherever I send anybody, all they need to do is go a different direction and we'll be doomed, but whatever. So we're up on energy now. If it wasn't for that, we're at war and we're going to get completely whooped by massive armies soon. That would be good. But the fact that we know we're facing kind of insurmountable odds is bad. The one thing I will do, because we've got a lot of energy, I'll check out our operations and see if there's anything else we can do there. But you can see how bad this can be. Is it a main invasion at Lucky Landing? That could be anything. That's this, which is not really concerning, although they may have got a huge army behind that, we don't know. What is that? Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. So we'll check out operations because we've got the energy.
Operations primed and ready.
See if there's anything. That might be useful. I mean, if you really want to, we'll just check.
Gives an overview of available the active victory condition in addition to regular.
So in here, we'll see if there's anything we could do. Okay, not much. We can't send them anything. We can't warn them. And we can't negotiate. I mean, the only option we've got is we could become a vassal, which is not good. And to be honest, we'd rather just lose than do that. I'm not really sure what would happen. I remember that was an option in, I think, Stellaris in different games. Might have been phrased differently. And the same in Total War. And then later on you might have had the option to reject your overlords. But I'm not sure what would happen in this if we do that. I'm not sure whether there's an option, and I don't want to become someone's vassal, so whatever. We'll go down fighting, or we'll win. Probably not win, eh? So anyway, this video has been maybe a little bit long because a lot kind of went on that hasn't happened before. I'm going to end it now. You can see the likely outcomes in the next video, which is a war and a lot of death, mostly on my part, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's all part of the game, and we will be back next time when you can see a massive army fight a smaller army and how that will result. And you can probably speculate on how that will result, but let's just see how it goes. You can be lucky. It's like any game, you know. Two of their units may break off and try and fight, and what you want is to try and isolate 2 or 3 of them and have a fight. But like I said, the problem is because they've got like never-ending units, you'll take damage, and even if you do beat some of their armies while you're trying to heal and get new units, they'll just have more to come at you, which is what I've found in all these games. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back next time with more Age of Wonders Planetful. In the meantime, take care from Guessagaingaming.